Good evening, everyone. We will now continue our discussion all about the topic in general mathematics. And can you tell me if you can see my screen? Can you see it? Is it visible in your end?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. So now we will discuss all about the topic rational function, equation, and rational inequalities. And before going with that, before going to rational equation first, we need to discuss first on how to determine whether your given is a rational equation, rational function, or rational inequality. So to start, let us define what is a rational expression first. A rational expression is an expression that can be written as a ratio of two polynomials. Example, 2 over x, or x squared plus 2x plus 3 all over x plus 1. That is a rational expression. You may also have another example, 5 over x minus 3. These are just some of the many examples of rational expression. So that's it. Rational expression is a ratio of two polynomials. Okay, how will we know that we have a rational equation? Of course, it involves rational expression and it also involves equality. So, say for example, you have 2 over x equal to 3. So, this is a rational expression and it involves equality, then it is called rational equation. And how will we know that that is a rational inequality? Of course, it will involve rational expression and it will involve inequality. What are those inequalities? Less than, greater than, or not equal. Example, you have 2 over x less than 4. This is an example of rational inequality. It involves rational expression here and it involves inequality. So in general, it will be called as rational inequality. And how will we know that it is a rational function? Just like what's stated here. If you say a rational function, it is involving two variables. So for example, we involve here f of x and x, and this portion is a rational expression, then it will be an example of a rational function. Best example for that is this: y equal to 2 minus x over x plus 1. This is an example of a rational function because there are two variables involved here. Your input here is x, your output is y. So in that case, this is an example of a rational function. Okay? So again, remember, two variables involved and there will be a rational expression in it. And that it will be called a rational function. Okay, let us have examples here. This one here, this one is an example of a rational equation. Well, here, this is an example of rational inequality. It involves rational expression and inequality. Actually, it is less than or equal. Then it will be called as rational inequality. And this portion, it will be called as rational function because there will be two variables involved, the y or something like the f of x there, that is just the y, and the x, and it is a rational expression here. So it is called a rational function. Okay, so I will be giving you one another set, and I want you to determine whether, okay, napadali. This one is a rational equation. Only one variable involved. This is a rational expression and there is equality. So it is a rational equation. This one, yes, it involves inequality, but either of the side is not a rational expression, right? Dili siya fraction. So in that case, it will not be called as a rational inequality. Of course, this is not also a rational equation. This is not also a rational function. So none of this. While this one, in number 3, it involves two variables, the f of x and the x. And this portion is a rational expression. So by that, it is called a rational function. This one involves inequality and it involves rational expression. So it is called rational inequality. And how about this? Both sides are rational expression and it involves equality. So it is called rational equation. Okay? Is it clear, everyone? I want to hear from you. Taro ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
I want you to determine now. Can you tell me? Okay. I will be calling names tingali para nindot, no? Okay. Number 1. Is it, by the way, the instruction here is for you to determine whether the given is a rational function, rational equation, rational inequality, or none of the above, or none of this. Okay, let us start from Ninya Colleen Dumangid.
Dumangid, sir.
Number 1. This is the answer in number 1.
None of these, sir.
Okay, why none of this? Can you explain why? Yes, your answer is correct. Why none of this, Ninya? Supposedly there are two variables, right? May duha ka variables, no? The y and the x. So it is near to be called as a rational function, but it is not a rational function because either of the side is not in fraction form, right? So the correct answer is none of this. It is not called rational equation because though it involves equality, but there are two variables here. Okay. It is not also rational inequality because it does not involve inequality. Okay. Let's proceed to number 2. Can I ask Trixie? Trixie Barq. Number 2. Rational function, equation, inequality, or none of this?
Sir?
These are the options. Rational function, rational equation, or rational inequality.
Rational inequality, sir?
Okay. Does this one involves inequality? Wala, no? Wala inequality. So it will not be rational inequality. How many variables are involved?
Duas.
Duha? Duha?
Isa.
Isa ra.
Isa.
Only x, right? So, isa ra. Na rational inequality nga na, rational expression nga na involved? Na ano? Rational expression man eh? As well as this? So it will be called as, anyone?
Rational equation.
Very
Rational
good. It is a
equation.
rational equation. Very good. Okay, let's go to number 3. Number 3, can I ask Dadoli, Michelle Lu, number 3.
None of this.
Okay, why none of this? Michelle. Anong dili sa rational function? Anong dili sa rational inequality? Anong dili sa rational equation? How many variables are involved? Anyone? How many variables?
One, sir. Isa,
Only
sir.
one.
Isa ra,
So,
sir.
wala sa inequality, no? Wala. So,
Yes,
isa
sir.
ra, so dili na sa function. Dili po sa inequality kay wala man sa rational, wala sa inequality. So, it is near to be called as rational equation. But, the left side and the right side are not a rational expression. So, in that case, the correct answer is none of this. Correct? Very good, Michelle. Next, number 4. Can I ask Heidi Panaris? Number 4.
Rational equation.
Very good. That is a rational equation. I think that is very clear. Rational equation. Okay. Next, number 5. Can I ask Matugas Gwen? Number 5.
Rational equation, sir.
So first, does this one involves rational expression? Hmm? Na rational expression? No? Rational expression ni no? By the way, first, is it called a polynomial above? Polynomial ba ni?
No, sir.
Anong di man siya polynomial? At first, this one, the negative 4x, this one can be written as raised to the power of 1/2. Right? So dapat the exponent niya is a whole number. Right? So in this case, this portion may not be called as a a polynomial, right? Maybe it will be called as radical expression. So in this case, the correct answer would be none of this, right? Do you agree with me? Yes, almost near na tong gi-answer ni, kasi ito answer kanina? Kasi ito answer kanina gani?
Tugas.
Rational, ay na, dili siya rational equation, di ba? Supposedly rational function. Pero dili man ni siya rational expression. Rational expression man ni class? Dili no? Kung x lang, kung ano lang unta, 7x cubed minus 4x plus 1 over x squared plus 3. So it will be called as a rational function. Kaya man ka variable. Pero square root man eh. So it is not a polynomial, it is not a polynomial. Remember, it is defined a while ago that it should be polynomial in the numerator and polynomial in the denominator. In this case, the numerator is not a polynomial, right? So it is not called, this portion is not called a rational expression. So in this case, the answer is none of this. Okay, lastly, number 6. Can I ask Nor Haifa Aziz, number 6?
Answer. Inequality, sir.
Rational inequality. Very good. And that is correct. Okay? Ano lang kasayon? Dili na ito nadugayon. Basta dinumduman kung isa ra ka variable na involved, nya equality, nya na irrational expression, that is called rational equation. Kung na rational expression, nya na inequality, then it will be called rational inequality. Kung na duha ka variable nga na-involve, say x and y or f of x and x. So nya ang isa ka expression nga rational expression, then it will be called as rational function. Okay? Na lang kasayon. So let's proceed to the next part, the rational equation. As I have said, there are 3 topics here. Ato nang tagi-tagihon. Unahon na to ang rational equation, then later the rational inequality, and next meeting will be the rational function. Okay, how to solve rational equations? Rational equations sa taon. So for the rational equations, there are 2 steps to follow. Can I ask Justin to read the first step, please?
Yes, sir. Eliminate denominators by multiplying each term of the equation by the least common denominator.
Okay, remember it is mentioned here that you have to find the least common denominator. This is the expression that can be divided in all of your denominators, the least possible, which is common among all denominators. And I think you know how to do it. And the second step, can I ask Ibrahim, can you read the second step, please? B.
Note the eliminating denominators may introduce extraneous solution. Check the solution of the transform equation with the original equation.
Very good. Thank you. So after you remember, if you have a rational equation, example, you have 2x plus 1 equal to 5. Ang una himuon ninyo ana, eliminate man ang denominators tanan, di ba? By multiplying both sides by the LCD. Then you will have a new equation. So in this process may provide extraneous solutions. So the best thing that you will do is to check your answer in your original equation. Kung matinuod ba siya. So you do the checking in step number 2. Again, we will repeat. The very first step in solving rational equation is to eliminate all of your denominators by multiplying the LCD. And the next thing is, you have to do the checking. Ano ang duha ka steps. Okay, let's proceed with the example. So let us solve this one. Okay, if you look at that one, ito yung sibo, kada na solution sa ubos. If you look at this example, remember, this is the given rational equation. Is it a rational equation, class? Is it a rational equation?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Do you agree
sir.
with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is a rational equation. So, how to solve this rational equation? So, sa unang nga step daw, tangtangon
Find the
tanang
LCD.
denominator. So, you will be multiplying the LCD. Ang problema, unsaon na pagpangita ang LCD. If you look at here, class, if you look at all of the denominators, you have here 1 here, right? 1x, 2x, and 5. Among the numbers, you have 1, 2, and 5. The LCD among those numbers is 10, right? That's why you write 10 here. Actually, ang gihimo ana class, gikan din ha, gikan sa 2 over x minus 3 over 2x equal to 1 over 5. Ga-multiply ka sa LCD. Unya, ang LCD class is, here, let's start with the number, the LCD is 10, right? Among this number 1, 2, and 5, the LCD is 10. Klaro matingan na, no? Pinakagamay nga number that can be divided by all of that numbers. Can be divided by 1, 2, and 5 at in the same time. Pinakagamay. Pwede man ta 20. Ma-dividean man ni 1, 2, and 5 pero ang pinakagamay man atong ipangita. That's why we get the 10. We multiply also 10 here because both sides. And remember, we also have x. Sayon na kayo kung sa variable plus, pangitaon lang ninyo ang pinakadako nga exponent. The exponent here is 1. The exponent here is also 1. So what you will do is to multiply here x. But in case na ani squared din you will multiply the x squared. Because as I mentioned, you get the highest degree of the exponent. Clear? That's why it is using here 10x in each side. It is multiplied by 10x both sides. And if you distribute this one, mo ni ang result. Di ba? Nakita ninyo? This is the result. Okay? Klaro ba, class? Naklaro ba ninyo portion?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
So you
sir.
just
sir.
multiply the LCD, which is the 10x both sides. And after that, this x will be eliminated. 10 times 2 is 20. That's why it becomes 20. This portion is 10x and you have here 2x. The x will be canceled out. 10 divided by 2 is 5. By the way, this is negative, so negative 5. Times 3, it becomes 15. Agree? And here, you have 5 and 10, it becomes 2 times x times 1, so it becomes 2x. Right? So if you simplify it further, the 20 minus 15 is 5, and you just simply copy this right side. You divide both sides by 2. If you divide by both sides by 2, it will be canceled out. So you only have x here. So your answer is 5 over 2. Okay? Klaro? Klaro ba, class? Nasabtan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ang
Yes,
game mo
sir.
sa second step class is you do the checking. Yes, right? So in the second step, you need to check it in the original. Not here. Dili din ha. But in the original. Clear? It is stated that it should be in the original equation. So what you will be doing is you need to check if x is equal to 5 over 2, the one that you get, then you go back with the original equation. You have here 2 over, remember the x that you get here is 5 over 2. Got it? You just use this one. Minus 3 all over 2x. Remember the x that you get is 5 halves. Is it equal to 1 over 5? I write here question mark because we need to show that that is really true. Now, the question is, are they equal? So, in checking class, kini ang timanan in checking. Kung mag-checking gani class, dili pwede mag-transpose sa pikas. Okay? Pasagdaan ang right side, pasagdaan ang left side, tanawon kung mag-identical ba in the end. So, I will be using red ha in the continuation. So, if you will simplify this portion, this is 2 over 5 halves. So, it becomes 2 times, you can take the reciprocal of it, 2 over 5. Agree? No? So, minus, this portion will be canceled out. Right? So, what is left is 3 over 5. 3 over 5, is it equal to 1 over 5? Okay? Is it equal? So, let's continue. So, it becomes now 2 over 1. So, 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. Minus 3 over 5, is it equal to 1 over 5? Okay. They have the same denominator, 4 minus 3, so it becomes 1 over 5 is equal to 1 over 5. And we see that they are identical. So in this case, we can say that this value can make this equation true. So by that, we can now be sure that our solution set is the set containing the number 5 halves. Clear? Sabtan? So the
Yes,
only
sir.
value of x that
sir.
can make this equation true is 5 halves. Any questions? None? Sure?
None, sir.
Good. Let us have one more example here. We will not use that one. Klaro na kayo nga na answer. Kabalo na mo sa akong tanawan. Let us have example nga wala pa na ansiran din. Okay. Maybe in the exercises. By the way, class, for the application, ato nang dunganon tanan ha sa tanan nga topic, application of the topic function. As you observe, I am not discussing real life problems that can be connected into our topic because I want to discuss all of that together in one setting. Okay, let us solve. Yun na kanana yung mga answer. Katong wala yung mga answer. Here, this one. Let's answer number 1. Is it a rational equation? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So what you will be doing is, let us have here 2x minus 1 all over x plus 3 equal to 5. So unahin mo on gani class. Do you remember what should be the first step?
Find the
Denominator
Ano ng
of LCD,
LCD?
Yes, you will
LCD.
multiply it by the LCD both sides. At first, before you will determine the LCD, what is the denominator here? Can you tell me what is the denominator in the left side?
X plus
X
3.
plus 3.
X plus 3. How about in the right side?
1.
1.
Okay. By that, it is very clear that your LCD is x plus 3. Do you agree with me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So that is your LCD.
Yes, sir.
So let's simplify the left side. It will be canceled out. So you only have 2x minus 1, right? While in the other side, if you distribute it term by term, it becomes 5x, right? Agree? And here it
Yes,
becomes
Yes, sir.
15.
sir. 5 plus 15.
15, di ba? Because 5 times 3. And next thing is, you will transfer those terms having x in the left side and those terms having constant to the right side. So in this case, you retain 2x. You transfer 5x to the other side. It becomes negative 5x, right? While here it becomes 15. You transfer 1 to the other side. It becomes positive 1. Did you get it, class? Sub 10?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
2x minus 5x. What should be the answer?
Negative
Negative
3x.
3x,
3x.
Very good.
sir.
Negative 3x. 15 plus 1. 16, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes,
Then you
sir.
will be
Yes.
dividing both sides by negative 3. Negative 3. So your x now is equal to 16 over 3. Okay? Question?
No, sir.
16 over 3, sir. Delete negative on 3, sir.
Ay, negative, negative.
Sige, sir.
By the way, is there any question? What should be the correct answer? Is it no or none? Is there
None.
any
None.
question?
None.
None.
Wala na, sir.
Mura
Wala na, sir.
mura ra kag pangutanon ka ba? Nakay pangutana ay nakay pangutana sa Bisaya. Nakay pangutana dili. Ano? Dili or wala, 'di ba? Yung inana. Okay? So, that's it for by the way, we will do the checking for it. As stated, you should solve it first, then you will do the checking. How to check? So, if x is equal to the one that you get, negative 16 over 3, then, okay, we will go back to the original equation. The original equation is 2x. Remember, your x is this. So, 16 over the negative of 3 minus 1 all over 16 over negative 3 plus 3, right? Is it equal to 5? Okay, so let us check whether it is really equal to 5. So if we will simplify this portion, so you just have to multiply 2 over 1 to 16 over 3. So that will be, si answer ani, this portion, class. Anyone?
32. 32.
So
Over
negative
negative 3.
32 over 3, right? Minus 1.
Minus.
Agree? No?
Mm.
So how about the
Yes,
other
sir.
side? The other side, it will be negative 16 over 3 plus 3. Is it equal to 5? Okay. Now we can rewrite the 1 into a denominator of 3. It can be written as 3 over 3, right? Agree? Plus ayun na pag-subtract niya.
Yes,
As
sir.
well as this, it can be written as, so man ni pag-rewrite into a denominator of 3, kining 3.
3 over 3.
3 over 3 is 1, not
3.
3.
3, 1. 3 over 1.
It should be a denominator of 3. Very good. 9 over 3. Right? So it can be written as 9 over 3. Did you get it? Kasi purpose ana, para sa'yo na pag-subtract niya. Okay? Or pag-add. So if they have the same denominator, sa'yo na siya i-simplify, right? So, kasi answer aning sa babaw? Negative, negative. So you just have to copy the sign, right? And you add the numerators. So your answer would be negative
Negative 35.
Negative 35
over, you copy the denominator, right?
over 3.
Okay. How about in the denominator? Negative, positive. So you copy the sign of the larger number, which is 16. So it's negative, right? And you subtract their quantity. 16 minus 9.
7.
So that's 7 over 3, right? The question is it equal to 5? Oh, we're almost there. Okay. The next thing is fraction divided by another fraction, right? So gani pag-divide og fraction sa another fraction?
Get the reciprocal.
Okay, the very first
Reciprocal.
thing is you copy the numerator, right? You copy the numerator. Okay, let me admit this. You copy the numerator, negative 35 over 3. You change the operation to multiplication and you take the reciprocal of your denominator. So it becomes negative 3 over 7, right? Is it equal to 5? Okay. The 3 will be cancelled out, right? Ma-cancelled out ang 3. Ang nabili negative divided by negative is positive, right? 35 over 7 or 35 divided by 7 is 5. So 5 is equal to 5 and that is 2, right? So by that, we can conclude, therefore, the solution set is the set containing the number negative 16 over 3. This is the only number that can make this equation true. Okay? This is the only value for x that can make this equation true. Is it clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Is there
Yes,
any
sir.
question?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
None, sir.
Okay,
None, sir.
good. Okay. I think that is clear. Okay, okay na to? Rational equation. So again, sa una nga step, gani, Alexa, Montemayor, sa una nga step.
I-find ang LCD sa denominator, sir.
Yes, tangon ang i-rewrite sa in a way nga wala na sa denominator, no? By multiplying the LCD. Second step,
Yes,
what is the
sir.
second step? Palubon, Samantha?
Sir,
After you remove the denominator of your equation, what should be the second step?
pagitaon ilang LCD, sir.
So nakuha na nimo, na-solve na nimo ang
Ah.
value ni x. Kasi sunod mo on. Tanggingon ka ganina
Kuan,
sa steps.
palitan checking, sir.
O na ang answer ni x. Ang sunod mo on, imuhang
Kuan, i-multiply niyo sa every
i-checking. Asa i-checking? Asa i-checking?
sa kuan, sir, sa
Ang main good nga equation.
Original
Ang original
Original.
equation.
Very good.
Original, good,
You
sir.
do the checking to the original equation. Clear? Klaro na ba? So that is the process on how to find the how to solve the rational equation. The next topic that we will be having is how to solve rational inequality. Kani may medyo naay gamay nga bantayanan ninyo. Okay? So let's go to the steps. Okay, these are the steps on how to solve rational inequality. Okay? So are you ready? So to solve rational inequalities, these are the steps to follow. Okay, can I ask Kalapis, Ronica to read the first step? Hey, go. Ronica. Kalapis. Ga-off cam. Narabay uban nga mga estudyante no ga-off ga-join pero wala day naminaw. Muna I will be calling names. Okay, let's go back with Ronica later. Can I ask Inario? Can you read the first step, Sheldon?
Yes, sir. Rewrite the inequalities as a single rational expression on one side of the inequality symbol and 0 on the other side.
Sabtan ninyo na? Did you get the statement? Ang gingon niya, rewrite the inequality as a single rational expression on one side of the inequality symbol and 0 on the other side. Kasi pasabot, ana. It should be written this way. It should be one rational expression and then example less than or equal and here must be 0. Here must be 0. Ito na lang i-klaro nga. Ang right side 0, ang left side sa inyong inequality is one rational expression. If you say 1, isara ang numerator, isara ang denominator. Sabtan? I will repeat. Only one numerator and one denominator. Sir, how if naingon ana ang nahatag? Plus 3 minus 1 over x plus 4. Ngun ani, sir, dapat ninyo ni i-combine ang duha so that it will be an expression or rational for the rational inequality. The left side is is a rational expression, a single rational expression. One numerator and one denominator. Okay? That is the very first step. You need to rewrite this form. It should be written in the form that the right side is 0 and the left side of your inequality is a single fraction. Okay? Step number 2, can I ask Siti Suhaira Pakatwa?
Determine over what intervals the rational expression takes on positive and negative values.
Okay, so you will be determining what intervals the rational expression takes on the positive or the negative values. And actually, there are sub steps that you will be doing. First is you locate the value for which rational expression is 0. Ay, masabtan ninyo na unya as we go to our discussion, or it is undefined. How to do it? You will be factoring the numerator and the denominator. Then you will be equating each factor into 0 later. Second, you mark the numbers found in the first in this step on the number line. Ibutang sa number line. Then use the shaded circle. Something like if you will use the shaded circle class. Kanibitaw? Oops. If you will see this notation, it means it is included. But if you will see this one, it is not included. Okay? Or in the other notation, we are using the bracket and the parenthesis, no? Parenthesis na siya, no? If this is the notation that we are using, it means the number that you write here is included. But if you are using this one, the number in this portion is not included. The third step is to select the test point. Something like you will be testing each interval that you will get, whether it is included in your inequality or not. Or does it make your inequality true or not? Then the last one is you summarize the interval containing the solution. Dagan kay step, no? O, masabtan ninyo na kung mag-discuss na tag-example. Let us have this example. Okay, let us have this one. Simple ra kayo sa tanawon. 2x over x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 1. Is it a rational equation, inequality, or rational function?
Inequality.
Rational inequality. So, giingon sa rational inequality, unsa gani ang unang step, Angelica Grace Palomares? Sa unang step,
I-rewrite ang equation, sir, sa left side kay one rational expression, tapos sa right kay 0.
yes. And how to do it? So, sa himuon na. So, the very first thing that we will do, class, is to make it 0 here. So, you transfer 1 to the other side, right? To make it 0. Agree? Okay?
Yes, sir.
So in that case, it will be now, you just copy this portion, you copy it here, you transfer that to the other side. By the way, before that one, importante kayo ni. If I will have here, say 2 is less than 3, is it true or not?
True, sir.
True. Okay. What will happen if I multiply a positive number? Example, I multiply 5 both sides. Mapabilin ba ang inequality? What's the answer diri, class? If you multiply by 5?
10.
10.
10.
What is the answer here if you multiply by 5?
15.
15. Can I still use the less than?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Sir.
Okay. Okay na ha? Wala problema kung positive nga value. So it means if you multiply a positive number both sides of your equation, you retain the inequality. Okay? What will happen if I multiply here both sides of the inequality by a negative number? Example, negative 2. Can I still use the same inequality?
No, sir.
Example
No,
here.
sir.
What's the answer here?
Negative 4.
Negative 4.
Negative 4. Here,
Negative 6.
can I still use the less than?
Dili,
No.
sir.
I must
No,
not negative
sir.
4 or negative 6.
Negative
Negative
4.
4, sir.
Of course,
Negative
mas
4.
dako gyud ang gikuan ra og upat compared ang gikuan og unom, right? So it should be greater than. So what will happen if you multiply a negative number both sides of your inequality? So di
Dili
mahitabo.
ma-retain ang
Yes,
inequality, sir, nga
you
symbol.
change the inequality to its opposite direction. Clear? So I want to emphasize that one. If you multiply a negative number both sides of your rational or your inequality, the inequality will be changed to its opposite direction. Clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So it is very important to do that one. Another thing. How about I will add? Okay, I will erase everything sa this. We will use the same. 2 is less than 3, right? If I will add here 4 and I will add here 4, what's the answer here?
6.
How about here?
6.
7.
7.
7.
Can I still use the less than?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Yes,
So,
sir.
dili mapiktuhan iyang inequality kung mag-add og positive nga number. Dili, no? Dili.
Yes.
How about
Yes, sir.
mag-subtract ko? Mapiktuhan ba ang iyang inequality?
No.
Minus. What's the answer here?
Yes, maapektuhan, sir.
Negative.
Negative
Tanong sa nato.
Negative 2.
Apektuhan, sir.
Negative 2. Diri.
Negative 1.
Ay, mas dako nilang dili.
Negative 1.
Negative 1.
Apektuhan ba iyang inequality?
Wala,
Yes,
sir.
Wala.
No.
So, walay problema
Wala din.
kung mag-add or mag-subtract og number. Still, you will use the same inequality. Mag-greater than man siya or ma-less than siya. Okay? Again, I will repeat. Mausab ra imong inequality if you multiply both sides by a negative number. Clear? Kana ray makapa-change sa imong inequality to its opposite direction. If you multiply or somehow you divide, pwede po divide both sides of your inequality by a negative number. Clear? Is it clear, class?
Yes, sir.
So now, balik ta diri sa atong example. We transfer it to the other side. You have 2x over x plus 1 less than or equal to 1. We want this to be transferred to the other side. Unsa di process nga gihimuan na para ma-transfer siya? Ato siyang gisubtrakan og 1 both sides. Mao man ang process, di ba? We subtract the same number both sides. Since we subtract only a number, so dili mausab yang inequality, di ba? Mausab ba?
Dili, sir.
Dili. So that's why we are still using greater than or equal here. Got it? Because this becomes 0 and you copy the other side. So kung mag-transpose the class, pareha ra nga inequality imong gamiton. Okay? Klaro? Bahalag na panay variable imong gi-transpose because dili man makaapekto ang mag-subtract og negative na number both sides. Okay? So again, magproblema lang ka kung mag-multiply or mag-divide og negative number both sides of your equation. Okay? Klaro na ni? Na side, na part?
Yes,
The
sir.
next thing is, it is mentioned a while ago that it should be written into a single fraction, right? So you will combine. If you have 2x over x plus 1 minus 1 greater than or equal to 0, you will be finding the LCD. The denominator here is 1. So obviously the LCD is x plus 1. Agree?
Yes, sir.
So LCD divided by the first denominator is 1. Right? 1 man, no? 1 times
Yes,
2x
Yes.
is 2x.
2x.
Next. LCD divided by 1. So x plus 1. Right? Because any number divided by 1 is the same with the number. So x plus
Yes.
1 divided by 1 is x plus 1. Times the numerator, so it becomes negative 1 times x plus 1. Got it? Mao nang kini nga portion. Kita ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Laro na ni nga part?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ang uban, wala naligi ni tingog. Nasabta na? Again,
Yes,
akong
sir.
malikon.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I-subtract
sir.
laning duha mo ni ang answer.
Yes, sir.
Clear? Okay. Now, the next thing is you will simplify it. You will distribute the negative in both terms. So it becomes 2x minus x minus 1, right? Again, it will be 2x minus x minus 1 over x plus 1 less than or equal to 0, right? Because you need to distribute this negative in both terms. Now, 2x minus x is simply x, right?
Yes,
No?
sir.
You copy the negative 1, you copy also the denominator greater than or equal to 0. And this is now the result. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Klaro na ha? So now, my question is, 0 na ba ang right side?
Yes,
Zero.
sir.
Single fraction na ba ang left side?
Single na, sir.
Yes,
Single
sir.
na. So, kung sa'yo sunod himuon, right na, human na to ang step number 1. Mo pa ang step 1 class. Step 1 pa lang na. Kung sa'yo sunod himuon, the very next thing that you will do is to factor out the numerator and the denominator if possible to factor out. But in this case, dili naman ni ma-factor out. Dili na po na ma-factor out. Okay? Pero kung quadratic pa na i-factor out ninyo na tanan. Okay? Okay, as of now,
Yes,
dili
sir.
na. Kaya dili naman factorable, sunod na nga step. Sunod nga step is, i-equate ka the factor into 0. So, there are only 2 here, right? You only have x minus 1 equal to 0 and in the denominator, x plus 1 equal to 0. Mora man ni ang factor sa numerator. Mora po ni ang factor sa denominator. You equate each factor into 0. Now, you will solve each value. So it will be now equal to 1. Here, it will be equal to negative 1. Again, you have positive 1 here because you transfer that. It becomes positive. It becomes negative if you transfer to the other side. So these are the values that you will be using. So sa gingon kanina, you locate that in your real number line. Let's change it into black. Here. You will locate that in your real number line. Okay. Asa man na si negative 1? Dari, no? Negative 1. And somewhere here is positive 1. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Then butangan din ninyo dira og circle. Ang giingon ako kaganina, shaded or unshaded. Okay. Ini ang timan-an. This is greater than or equal. Bantayan po kung greater than ra. Lahi man ang pamaagi kung lahi man ang kung yung greater than walay appeal si 0. Strictly greater than. Pero kung greater than or equal, appeal si 0 sa value diri. Kasabtan ninyo? Okay, now.
Yes, sir.
Panahon na to. If x is 1, positive 1. Okay ha? If x is positive 1, what will happen for this portion? What's the answer? If that is positive 1, if x is equal to positive 1, same result. It becomes 1 minus 1 equal to 1 plus 1. Right? It becomes 0
Over 2.
over 2. And that is 0. And we know that 0 is greater than or equal to 0. And that is true because na equal man. Right? So it
Yes,
means
sir.
this value, 1, can make your equation true. So kana di ay atuan ng is solid. Okay? Kay makatinuod man sa imong equation. Inequality rather. Sabtan? Now,
Yes.
klaro na na?
Yes,
Anong akong
sir.
gi-shade? Because it is included. Now, how about the other one? This one. The negative 1. What will happen to your inequality when your x is negative 1? If x is equal to negative 1, then what will happen? It will be now
Undefined.
negative 1 minus 1, negative 1 plus 1. Yes,
Negative
that's correct.
1
It will be
minus 1.
negative 2 over 0, right? And it is
Yes, sir.
undefined, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Mm.
the undefined value is not greater than or equal to 0, right? Undefined gani. So that is not greater than or equal to 0. So it is not true, right? So kanidi ay dili
Yes.
na to is shade. I-hollow lang siya. Kay dili man siya makatinuod sa inyong inequality. Klaro?
Yes, sir.
Sabta na. Okay.
Yes.
Mapatanahuman.
Yes,
Napay sunod
sir.
nga step. Sunod nga step, class, is atong i-determine ang interval. Asa i-determine ang interval? The interval will be determined using by these values. Ini sila ang mga endpoints kada interval. There are 3 intervals here. Pakita na ko ninyo ha. The first interval is this. The second interval is this. Kita ninyo? And the last interval is this. See it? Okay. Now, asa gasugod ang first interval?
Sa
Wala. Negative infinity, di ba? Let's change that into blue. That is coming from negative infinity until what number?
negative 1.
Negative 1.
Again, always bear in mind if infinity dili gyud na siya ma-contain, so that is always parenthesis. Here, is it included or not included?
No.
Not. So you will use
Not.
parenthesis.
Not.
You will use
Not.
bracket kung included. Nasabtan? Okay? Okay. The other one is here. So the next interval is, again, open man ano? By the way, it is called open interval from negative infinity to negative 1. Again, can you repeat? Open interval from negative infinity to negative 1. Kung inapon mo ingon ana, class, oops. Kung inapon mo ingon ana, example, bracket ni, nga, example 2, then 5. Kung parehas gani close, it is called closed interval from 2 to 5. Kung parehas open, open interval from this until here. Masabtan? Inana ang pagtawag, pagbasa niya. Pero kung katunga ra niya, example ani, ang inyong basahon kana, it is half closed interval from 2 to 5. Pero kung naamoy ingon ani, you will read this as half open interval from 2 to 5. Nasabtan? Okay, abalikon ako ha. Sulayan ako kung kabalo mo mabasa. How will you read this one? Okay, ginaw?
Open
Interval
interval
from
negative
negative
2 to positive 3.
Open interval from negative 2 to 3. Nganong open? Kay because they are both open. Okay? Okay, I will change this into this one. Kindly read. So, hindi pagbasa.
Close
Close
interval.
Interval
negative
2 and 3.
Closed interval from negative 2 to positive 3. Closed interval. Okay, how about I will change that into this one? How will you read this one?
Half open
Open
interval.
interval negative 2 to positive 3.
Many of you are reading it wrong. It should be half closed ang last inyong basahon. Half closed interval from negative 2 to 3. Nasabtan? Pero kung kini, this one. How will you read this one?
Half open interval from negative 2 to 3.
Very good. Half open interval from negative 2 to 3. Pasabot, appear si negative 2, gikan kang negative 2, until number before kang 3. Pero wala apil si 3. Nasabtan? Apil ang mga decimal. Apil ang mga tanang real numbers dira. Okay? So here, it is, how will you read this one? Class, how will you read this one?
Open interval
interval
from
from
negative
Open
infinity
interval
to
from negative
negative 1.
infinity to negative 1.
Very good. Diri, unsa ibutang nga isa ka interval? Open ni diri, no? Open. From negative 1,
Half close.
Half closed
closed
Half
interval.
from negative 1 to positive 1.
Very good. How about the last interval?
Close.
Closed interval
Asa ka gikan?
from 1 to infinity.
From negative 1 to infinity.
To positive infinity. Very good. Half open, right? Half open, no? Half open. Okay. Open man ang
Anong
last.
half?
Open, di ba ang last? O, half open. Clear? Ang last may basahon. Half open interval from 1 to positive infinity. Okay, now we are done determining the intervals. Again, we determine these intervals using these values. Okay? Taro class?
Yes, sir.
So, the next thing that we will be doing is to check these intervals. Kung tinuod ba na nga mga intervals. Okay, so na pag-check? You can check those intervals by getting any value here and you substitute it here. Matinuod ba ni or dili? Okay? So, sa ni-reason nga portion. So, can you give me any value from the first interval? From the blue?
Negative 2.
Yes,
Negative 2.
negative 2. You may also have negative 3. You may have negative 5. Negative 100. Right? You may select any of those values. Let us just use negative 2. Let us check negative 2 here. Okay. If x is equal to negative 2, then what will happen? It will be negative 2 minus 1, negative 2 plus 1. Is it greater than or equal to 0? What do you think? Okay, kini yung timanan. Kung ang number gani fraction nya ang sign sa numerator o denominator lahi or opposite, then that is less than 0, right? No? Okay, negative man. Pero kung pareha sila, that is greater than 0. In this case, unsay answer sa babaw? Negative, right? Negative 3. The answer here is
Negative 1.
negative also. Is it greater than or equal to 0? Negative divided by negative is positive, right? So it's true.
Yes.
So it means this is checked. This portion should be included in your solution set later. Because these values here, any of the value from this interval can make this inequality true. Even though we pick only one, if you check the rest of those numbers, for sure, that can make this inequality true. Okay? So okay na ang first interval. Any question for the first interval?
None, sir.
None. Let us proceed to the second interval. For the second interval class, kindly pick any number. What do you think?
0.
0. So if you will use, if x is 0, what will happen to this inequality? 0 minus 1, 0 plus 1, is it greater than or equal to 0? In the numerator, that is negative 1. In the denominator is positive 1. Is it greater than or equal to 0?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's question mark 0. Negative divided by negative.
Positive.
Negative divided by negative.
Negative 1.
0, sir.
Negative.
Negative.
And we know that negative 1 is not greater than 0. It cannot make this inequality true. So by that, this is wrong. It means the values here cannot make this inequality true. Claro? And we are almost done. We are almost done. We have another interval. So can you pick any value from the third interval?
Positive 2.
Positive 2. And again, you may select any of the values here. You have infinitely many options. Okay? You may select the whole number and the closest here. So let us use the positive 2. Again, you may use 5, 10, 1,150 or any of those numbers as long as included sa interval. Okay, now, what will happen to this inequality? It will be 2 minus 1, 2 plus 1, is it greater than or equal to 0? What's the answer in the numerator? Positive 1, right?
1.
In the
Yes, sir.
denominator, positive 3.
3.
They are both positive, right? And positive divided by
Yes, sir.
positive is a positive number. So that is correct. Right? So this is check. Clear? Sa ato pa di ay class na atay duha ka interval nga maapil sa atong solution set. So how will we write our solution set? Solution set is equal to the set containing the first interval, negative infinity to negative 1. The other interval is the half open interval from 1 to positive infinity. How can we write that in a 1? How can we fuse them? By using union. Okay? And this is now your solution set. Any value from this interval, I will write it here. Any value from this interval and to this interval can make this equation 2. Inequality 2 rather. Inequality 2. Clear? Laro?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me ask you, by looking at your solution set, is negative 1 a solution?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Is
sir.
negative 1 a solution?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
No.
No.
No. Because negative 1 is not included here. Dili man na bracket, parenthesis man na. Now, another question. Is 1 a solution?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. Kay bracket man na. Right? Another. Is 0 a solution?
No, sir.
No,
No,
because
sir.
0 is
Wala
not
na
here.
apil. No, sir.
Okay. Is 1.5 a solution?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
because
Yes, sir.
1.5
Yes,
is
sir.
here. Naadiri 1.5, right?
Yes.
Is negative 150 a solution?
No, sir.
Negative 150.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
negative
Yes,
150
sir.
is here. Naadiri nga portion.
Yes, sir.
Diri nga interval. Di ba? Okay. Is negative 0.5 a solution?
No,
No, sir.
sir.
No, sir.
No, because the negative 0.5 is here, right? Okay. Is 0.99 a solution?
No.
No,
No,
sir.
No.
sir.
Naala diri si 0.99 o
No.
dili siya apil. Agree? Okay, another.
Yes.
Is 1.000000001 a solution?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Naala siya diri. Right? Okay. Ana ka sayon. Nasabtan?
Yes, sir.
Pangutana. No questions? Okay. Wala may pangutana. We will have more examples as we will proceed to our topic next meeting. We will have one more example next meeting before we start for the inequality. Then after that, we will proceed to our new topic, the rational function. Okay? So for you to study in advance, I want you to study. I want you to answer this one. Dili ninyo na ipasa, but I want you to study it in advance. Okay? But I will be asking mostly of you next meeting, many of you, rather, about this, how to answer this one. Number 3, number 4, and number 5. Okay? 3, 4, 5. Okay? Just remember the steps, and I think you know what are the steps. I will be sending you the link of our recorded Zoom tonight. and just look again for the steps on how to do it. And you are free to ask questions if we meet again on Monday evening. Okay? Clear? Any questions before we go?
None, sir.
And I think most of you are sleepy now. And I know, ako sang i-stop ha.